Your phone showing red. The Sensex fell by 5% this week. Your SIP portfolio, which has been building for months or years, look worse than it looked last one. And there is a specific feeling that aligns with that scream. Not panic exactly, something quieter. A question that still sits in your chest. Should I stop? I want to answer that question today. Not with motivation, language, with data, with mechanism, and with the exact action I take and don't take when the market corrects 5%. I am a PhD holder, lecturer in college, and almost same as my audience. I have a SIP running and I have been exactly this moment, phone showing red, SIP looking questionable. Here is what I learned and here it what it cost me to learn it. The 5% correction. What it is. A 5% correction in Nifty 50 means the index has fallen from a recent peak by 5% point. Historically, correction of 5 to 10% occur in Nifty approximately 3 to 4 times per year. They are normal weather of equity market. They are not the exceptional event. They are scheduled turbulence. The 2026 correction was triggered by a specific combination: Iran oil war shock, FII selling due to global risk of sentiment, and rupee weakness at 96 amplify the FII outflow. All three are temporary variable. None of these change the long-term earning trajectory of India top 50 companies. But the portfolio screen does not show the long-term earning trajectory. It shows you a number that is smaller than it was the last one, and the number even thought it represent exact zero permanent change. Your actual financial position trigger a very real emotion response. The three things to do. Let me be specific. The three things to do when the market fall 5%. First, check whether your emergency fund is intact. This is the most important check, and it is nothing to do with the market. Your emergency fund is the structural foundation that makes long-term investing possible. It is the money that ensures you do not need to sell investment to cover unexpected expenses during downturn. Open your saving account. It is the number there. 6 months of household expense, rent, grocery, EMIs, family obligation. If yes, your foundation is intact. If no, before any investment conversation, rebuild it first. The emergency fund is not nice to have. It is the load-bearing wall of your financial architecture. Second, confirm your SIP auto debit is running. Pull up your investment app, check the SIP is scheduled, verify the next debit date, and then close the app. The SIP interaction, the SIP schedule to run the SIP to that buy discounted units during the correction. This is the rupee averaging cost exactly as designed. 5% fall means your next SIP installment by 5% more units for the same rupee amount. Over a 20-year horizon, those discounted units are compounding engine. Third, if and only if your emergency fund is fully intact and you have genuine surplus above, consider as I am not saying to go to borrow and invest. I am saying that the investor who has a solid financial foundation and available Surplus can use correction as the structured additional point, not because they are trying to time the market, because they have capacity to act when others are reacting with fear. The one thing not to do. Now the most important instruction: do not stop your SIV to wait for the bottom. I want to say this clearly. This is the most expensive financial decision that Indian retail investors make during the market correction, and it is made with the best intentions. The logic sounds reasonable. The market is falling. If I pause the SIP now and restart it when the market bottom, I'll buy more unit at the time the lowest price. Here is the problem. No one knows when the bottom is. Not me, not the fund manager, not the CNC, not the analyst with three screens and Bloomberg terminal. The bottom is only visible in the retrospect after the recovery has already begun. The investor who paused the SIP, wait for the bottom, misses the recovery rally. They eventually restart, typically after the market has already bounced 15 to 20% from the actual bottom at a higher price than the correction they were trying to avoid. The data on this is consistent across every correction in Nifty history. The investor who stayed invested through the correction consistently outperformed the investor who paused and re-entered. The gap compound. If I know this personally, after my 80,000 loss in FNO 2022, I paused my investment actually for 3 months while I wait for the things to settle. The market recovered in those 3 months. I watched it recover from the sidelines. The cost that pause is missed, united, discounted, and heavy was real and measurable. The behavior architecture. Here is what I want to rebuild, not a response to a specific correction, but as a permanent financial architecture. Auto debit date that does not change. I use 2 days later on which my salary is credited off every month. It runs regardlessly of what the market did before. The automation removes the decision. The decision is what is dangerous, not the trading app home screen. The home screen of your phone is designed to trigger reflex open, moving the investment app 2 screens away, adding a second tab, introducing friction. This is not avoidance. It is a structural protection against the 3 a.m. impulse check. One financial review per week, Sunday at a fixed time. Everything financial, portfolio, SIP status, expense tracking. We review then and only then. The review is scheduled, not triggered by events. These three structured elements do not require willpower. They do not require you to be emotionally disciplined in the moment of fear. They work because they remove the moment of fear from the decision chain. Now, the closing. The Sensex, Nifty, or other indices down. Your SIP is doing most important work right now. It is buying unit at discount. It is compounding the discipline you build before the fear arrived. It is building quietly the corpus your future self will one day look and understood what it is. Subscribe to DareMinds. Drop in the comments. What did you actually do this week when the market went red? I want to know, not to judge, but because every honest answer teaches someone watching. See you next time. Disclaimer: I am not a SEBI registered financial documentation. This is the financial documentation only. Consult a qualified professional before investing. Thank you.